Touritz is a new mobile app and website that for the first time is bringing together all the world's walking tours and other content relating to points of interest. You can upload that content and create it on Touritz, and then other people will be able to check it out online and download it to their cell phones, their iPads, and other mobile devices. Now, Sean Thomas and I are recent graduates of the Masters of Public History program here at NKU. I was a graduate assistant under Dr. Brian Hackett. And in that program, we worked with more than a dozen community partners, museums and historic sites all around the region. Working with them, we discovered some real problems. The biggest problem was many of them are still way behind the times when it comes to technology. They're still relying on paper maps and brochures. Very few of them have anything like an app or even an audio tour. About 7% have any kind of content like that because they simply can't afford it, nor would they be able to maintain that content if they were able to find a grant to make the app. And also, as Dan was saying, there isn't one place where all of that kind of content can be found. So we thought, wouldn't it be great to create an app that would help all of them to upload that content and share it with the rest of the world? And that's really what we were coming up with Touritz. Thanks to the incubator, we have some funding that we were able to use to create a demo for you. As you see, some of the content on Touritz, it will be professionally produced by museums and historic sites. It'll be things like maybe the official walking tour of London, or maybe a video from the Cincinnati Reds Hall of Fame Museum. But the rest of it will be content created by average people who are just passionate about places. Maybe they're history buffs, or students, or teachers. Maybe they love wine, or maybe they are sports fanatics, or they're architecture people who just have to share what they love and learn about architecture. I also don't have to tell you if you have a teenager in the house, many of them just can't wait to upload a video or photo of their recent trip to Chipotle, right? Yeah, we also think that they're going to want to share the things that they learn and love about museums and historic sites. We're going to make it fun for them and easy. Other people on the site will be able to rate and review that content. And when you're getting ready to take a trip, you'll just tell us what you're interested in. We'll show you the relevant points of interest. And then you will be able to, on Touritz, to bring all that content together, create your own walking tour or driving tour as well. Now, with the incubator, we pretty much learned a whole new language. It's like having a second master's degree for us. We're public historians. Now we're learning the business part of the equation. We use the lean business model canvas, and that's really a roadmap that helps you lay out your whole business from beginning to end. What we started with was a look at the market. In our case, $1 trillion travel industry. Has anybody used TripAdvisor by any chance? Great site. If you haven't, the next time you're getting ready to take a trip, you've got to go on TripAdvisor. They help you to figure out everything from where to stay with hotels, what museums to go to, because other members rate and review that content. TripAdvisor made more than $630 million last year. Also in our space, a guy named Rick Steves. He's on PBS. He's more than just a travel show. He's his own brand. He creates all kinds of content online as well. And we have some other competitors that you'll see up there, but none of them do all the resources that we'll be doing with Touritz. Now, when it comes to our team, Sean and I are a lot like Rick Steves. We both have experience in television news and broadcasting. Sean worked with Army Television in Europe and on Capitol Hill. I've been a TV producer, a reporter, and a host at the network level and at local stations around the country. In our public history background, as Dan was saying, we have all kinds of great channels that we've been able to develop. We've worked with a lot of museums and historic sites. We're going to be continuing to do that. Also part of our team, Greg Roberts. Greg Roberts has more than 20 years of experience working with museums and historic sites. He's also been an executive with 3M and Corning. We've also been able to tap some of the great resources here at NKU. Our friend Brad Gardner is in the computer science field. He is working professionally, but he's also getting his master's in the School of Informatics right now. We add with that group a lot of great people like Dan, a lot of terrific advisors in the legal field and business and computer science, and of course, all the people in public history. The other thing they teach you in the incubator is how to develop those channels, and we continue to do that. We're having meetings with historical societies all over all the time. We've also, thanks to Chris Cole and the people in the Graduate Programs Office, have been able to get some great exposure already in newspapers. We've been featured all around the country, from Maysville to the San Francisco Chronicle. We've also spoken at seminars all over the country. We were most recently at Johns Hopkins University talking to historians from all over the world. They had great reactions to Touritz as well. We've spoken to the Ohio Historical Society, and as Dan was telling you, we are working very closely with the Ohio River Freedom Corridor. That's a group of museums in Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana, large and small, from the Freedom Center to really small organizations. All of them are very excited about Touritz. This is what the president of that group had to say. She says Touritz is pure genius. Now, any great idea will go nowhere if it doesn't have a way to make money. And that's what we've really learned through the incubator as well. We came in with a few revenue streams, traditional things like cost per click advertising and paid sponsorships. Now, most of the content on Touritz is going to be free, but think of it like an app store. Some of the content will have a small fee, we'll take a transactional cut of that as well. And during our time in the incubator, we've actually also worked on some other ideas. We'll have a traditional kind of coupon book, but it'll be an online version. So if you're going somewhere, some ads will pop up, some coupons will pop up, you'll be able to take advantage of that. And we've also developed a pro membership for Touritz. What this does is organizations will end up showing up first on a search of that city. And they'll also get some other great content that they can kind of customize their page and even add their own sponsor content. We floated this idea with all those people in the Ohio River Freedom Corridor. None of them batted an eye. They all said they'd be willing to pay for that kind of service because they realize the value that is in that kind of service. And finally, if you're someone like the Colosseum in Rome and you're getting tons of downloads on Touritz, we're going to charge you a small transactional fee to pay for that so that we can offer Touritz, the hosting part of Touritz, free for everybody else. Okay, so where are we now? Well, we continue to work developing Touritz. We will have what they call an MVP, a minimum viable product, or a prototype, by the end of October. A lot of that will be featuring content from the Covington Bicentennial. Amanda's here, we're working with her, and we're also working with Norm Damaris, collaborating with Tier 1 on that. We're very excited to be a part of the Covington Bicentennial. There'll be a lot of great exposure. All of those signs throughout Covington will feature the Touritz logo. That's all already in place. And finally, Sean and I are graduating today from the incubator. We graduated from the MAV program in May. We're going back in the classroom in September as part of the new class of UpTech. We're one of 8 companies that were selected for that. About 80 competed for that honor. That gives us up to $50,000 in funding, free office space, and lots of great mentors like Amanda, who is here today. And I have to tell you, we wouldn't have had a clue how to apply for UpTech had we not been an incubator. The guidance that Rodney and Zach gave us and everyone else in that program really got us to that next step. And we're so excited to be there because we really believe that we understand our customers and our market, and we're providing a useful service. It'll be fun for a lot of people, but it's a godsend to museums and historic sites really all over the world. Because what we're doing at Touritz, we're reinventing how tours and points of interest are experienced and shared. Thank you very much.